Okay, so this is standard costing. In this sixth question, D part, they are saying Kronos Clocks Limited applies a policy of management by exception. I taught you what is management by exception in last week's class, right?
Yeah.
So tell me what is management by exception?
It's like when a certain policy can be like not like a policy. It's like a certain thing which can be like accepted. Like for example, in this case, like the variance for the labor hours, which can be like exempted a bit because of like for example, like here it was like a unfortunate situation where they had a power cut. So like
Okay.
that kind of thing.
It's like the management take actions. Okay. To control the variance,
Okay.
like let's say if it's an adverse variance, or like if the variance is unfavorable, then the management will take actions to control them, to improve them, all those. That is meant by management by exception. It's a policy. So when a company is not performing well, like when they have adverse variance due to power cut and all that, then they will implement a policy saying that they have to follow management by exception. So their aim is to point out the significant difference between the expected and budgeted amounts, and they will try to control them and make changes and all that. Did you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so that's all. So that is management by exception. So what they are saying is Kronos Clocks Limited applies a policy of management by exception. So after that, they're telling you to evaluate whether it is appropriate for Kronos Clocks Limited to take any action concerning the performance of the production workers in week 23. So they are telling like whether it is appropriate for Kronos Clocks Limited to take the action, to take any action, okay, concerning the performance. So what you have to tell, you can tell like from your previous answers that you got from B and C part. C part, they told you to calculate labor efficiency variance and labor rate variance. So what you can tell here is, okay, look at my screen. So for taking action, that means for taking appropriate action, you can say the total variance for the week is 1728 adverse. Total variance means labor efficiency plus labor rate. Total labor variance. Did you understand that?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, that is 1720 adverse. This may be considered a large sum for just 1 week of production. Okay, so they are saying this is considered as a large sum for just one week of production. After that, they are saying therefore management may decide to investigate the cause of the adverse variance. So, like they're saying, management will decide to investigate what has caused this adverse, what has made this an adverse variance. So, the reason. So, they are telling management may decide to investigate the cause of the adverse variance caused by the shortfall in production. Okay, this would be with the view of taking corrective actions. So, they will find the reason for the adverse variance, and they will take some corrective action. Okay, that is this first part. So in the second part, they are saying if this was repeated for every week of the year, the total adverse variance would be around 90,000, a considerable sum. So that means if this was repeated every week of the year, so there are 52 weeks in a year, right? So if this is repeated every week of the year, then it's a huge sum, which is 90,000. So that is what they're saying. Did you understand that part?
Yeah, I understand that part.
Okay. Um, so 1728 into 52, that is 90,000. Okay, around 90,000. Okay. So the
Okay.
next part they're saying is the company may have predetermined sum or a percentage above which action will need to be taken. So now Now, when the company is implementing a standard standard cost system, then they will just keep a predetermined sum. Like if they exceed this amount, then the management by exception policy should be considered. Like if it is below that sum, then don't need, like that. So that is what they're saying. The company may have a predetermined sum or a percentage above which action will need to be taken. Did you understand that part?
Yeah, I understand that part.
This is the essence of management by exception. Okay, the budgeted cost of production is 10,752 and a variance of 1,728 is 16% of this sum. Okay, do you know what they are saying in this point? The budgeted cost of production is this point. Do you know what they're saying here?
Yeah, like the total variance is 16% of the total budgeted cost of production.
Yeah. Okay, so this 10,752 into 16%, 10,752 into 16% will give 1,728. Can you understand that?
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay. So, okay. So, uh, okay. So they are saying this business may have a policy of taking action if 10% or 15% above or below expectations occur. So what they are saying is this is like 16%. So they are saying the management may have a policy like let's say if sometimes if the rate is above 10%, then they should take action. If the rate is below 15%, then they should not take any action. Or if this rate is if this rate is above 15%, then they should take action. If this rate is below 15%, like 10% or 12, then don't need to take action. So they're saying sometimes a business can implement a policy like that. Can you understand that?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Okay. So now against taking action. So against taking action, that means they are telling the management by exception rule should not be implemented. So what does that mean? Okay, so they are saying the 16% variance compared to budgeted cost may be within the preset limit by management. So they are telling this 16% compared to the budgeted cost, it may be within the preset limit. Okay, so management may regard this level of variance to be too small to be rated as exceptional and not worthy of taking management time to correct. So they are telling it's not worthy taking the management's time to correct these standards and to implement a policy called management by exception. Do you want me to explain that part again?
No, no, it's fine. I
Oh,
understand that part.
okay. Okay, like because if the managers also wants to, like management by exception means it's the manager's work, so it takes some time for them to correct the standards, to find the cause of it, everything, right? So they're telling it's not worthy of taking management's time to correct this. Okay, because they are saying
Yeah.
this 16%, sometimes when we compare it, it may be within the preset limit. Okay, now for conclusion, what they are saying is management may take action. The decision will be determined by any policy relating to the size or percentage of the variance, okay, or the management view of the variance. So they are telling they should take action. Okay, and it is like it is based on the percentage of the variance and the like it's based on the policy. Okay, did you understand this whole answer now?
Yeah, I understand his whole answer.
Okay.